The Secret Service released a study this week on the growing terrorism threat of the so-called incel movement. Incel is short for involuntarily celibate. Adherents call themselves anti-feminist. The report says followers of the incel movement blame acts of violence on an inability to form relationships with women. For more on this, I want to bring in CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Skanga. So, Nicole, reading your reporting on this, these details are chilling. First of all, what are the origins of this movement and how has it evolved?
Yeah, Lane, in the late 1990s, a Canadian woman actually created this internet peer support forum. It was kind of a safe place for people who wanted a relationship to seek support from others who were experiencing similar social awkwardness, mental illness, or overall disenfranchisement. But as the incel movement expanded, its membership really evolved into something a lot darker. And by 2000, young heterosexual men exhibiting more aggressive views towards women overtook this conversation. Today, there's a manosphere of groups like men's rights activists and men going their own way. One example, Elaine, this week, a disturbing TikTok trend has boys and men joking about killing their romantic dates. We found dozens of eerie videos set to pop music, some on accounts with tens of thousands of dedicated views. I should note that CBS News has reached out to TikTok for more information.
Really disturbing to hear those details, as I said. Nicole, since 2014, attacks inspired by the incel movement have left dozens dead in the U.S. and Canada. What did the report reveal about the common thread among followers of this ideology?
Yeah, Lane, the 26-page report by Secret Service took a deep dive into red flags predating a massacre at a hot yoga studio in Tallahassee, Florida that left 2 people dead, 4 injured back in 2018. Before taking his own life, the attacker was fired from multiple teaching jobs, barred from apartment buildings, and he once authored an 81-page revenge fantasy about a boy-turned-serial killer. He was arrested 3 times for incidents of groping women in public, and his roommates called him Ted Bundy. His parents reported removing him from his niece's birthday party after he touched young girls. On the day of the shooting itself, he wrote in a final note that read in part, "If I can't find one decent female to live with, I will find many indecent females to die with." Authorities found that he had called the yoga studio beforehand. So while Secret Service says there's no one profile for these kinds of extremists, it's urging investigators to consider patterns of behavior and potential targets, since suspects often test the waters before staging an attack.
So, Nicole, if that's the case, what can communities do to help detect and thwart some of these tragedies?
Yeah, 4 words: behavioral threat assessment programs. This is see something, say something, kicked up a notch. These programs can be developed in workplaces, college campuses, local communities. Most programs rely on the public, and they are designed to detect and report early signs of a potentially dangerous person or situation. Elaine, they're not punitive, meaning they're intended to support those in distress before things escalate. Bottom line, if a person receives help sooner rather than later, they may be less likely to cause harm to themselves or others.
It is an eye-opening report. Nicole Skanga. Nicole, thanks for sharing your reporting with us.
Thank you.
Hello, good people. This is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker, coming back at you live once again from the Lone Star State with another edition of the Media Mike Speaks. All right, good people, it is 24 minutes past the hour, and yes, we are the voice of the everyday citizen. All right, good people, just in case you have not heard of this story, even though, you know, we have the things going on over in Ukraine still, so it's not really my thing, but hey, rock on Ukraine. So anyway, good people, as you see in the title, has the United States Secret Service declared war on men? Which is the question. You see, because they're saying the incel men, you know, as they stated in the video, the incel men, meaning they are involuntary celibates, whatever that means, but I'm pretty sure you know what it means. But this is where we are here. Because you have some men out here who somehow feel that if they can't get a date, the woman they want, they're going to go on a rampage. Now, we all know the U.S. Secret Service primary responsibility is to safeguard the financial structure of the United States of America, along with protecting the President of the United States, and that is also a specialized unit. But primarily they were formed in 1865 after the, right at the ending of the Civil War. So, and there was no protection of the U.S. President then, good people, so therefore their primary duties are to safeguard the financial infrastructure of the United States of America. But I'm just wondering, why did they get this task? That's a good question. Why did they get this task? Because it appears these incels are causing a problem, according to the U.S. Secret Service, and according to the researchers that were on the video. But the question still remains, is this an attack on all men? Now, we can go in deeper if we want to, but it just seems a little odd to me what this is all about. And the question, I guess, is, do women need men for financial purposes, I would say, anymore? Do they? Because that could be part of the issue. Could it be part of the issue, the change in society? I think it is. See, let me give you a little bit of history here. Something they don't want to probably talk about. The American economy transitioned from an agrarian economy to an industrial economy in the 1800s. In the process, the concept of a family changed from having many kids for use as extra hands in the fields and factories to having a nuclear family of 2.5 kids during the 1950s, during the nuclear Cold War era. Mainly supported by a stay-at-home mom and father being the primary breadwinner. All of that a result of WW2, the New Deal, Home Loan Act, which a lot of African Americans were excluded from, and so forth, which subsidized this new middle class through primary industrial jobs and government programs. Then in the 1960s, there was another transition to a post-industrial economy, and to go along with it came another change to the family structure towards a complete deconstruction of the family via the women's revolution and feminism. The reason for that was because those working class industrial jobs were being sent overseas, and no longer could a man expect to be able to sustain a family as the sole breadwinner. This meant more women in the workplace, and it also meant that children no longer were a priority for those chasing careers in new jobs requiring college degrees or other kinds of training. So all of that is to say that, hey, men most likely are not in control of the economic forces shaping the society. Meaning there's no kingdom for them anymore. But here's the thing, good people. Even if you somehow did get these men and women on the same page, it still would be a monumental struggle against the forces shaping things around them. And to overcome those forces requires an actual nation or kingdom where you actually control the resources. See, wealth, economy, institutions, and extensions of the social norms and behaviors. There's no way around it. You see, these certain individuals, these men feel they are no longer needed. They are somewhat obsolete. Now, I'm not giving away to excuses. There's no need for them to do what they did. You can't make anyone like you. You can't make anyone want to talk to you. Now, there are too many women on this planet for you to be upset over because this person doesn't want to be with you, or you feel somehow you feel your existence. You're questioning your existence, I would say. There's no need for any of that at all. But according to the U.S. Secret Service and the researchers, it's a growing problem. What does a man fit in today's society? What is his purpose? Will this get better? Now, to ask that question is to answer it. I don't think so. I think based off of what I just gave you a little bit of backstory on what I just said about the history of what has happened with the economy and the Industrial Revolution and the new tech wave. Women don't need men like that anymore for financial gain. Or, I would say, security. They can make their own money, do what they want to do, go where they want to go. It does change the dynamics of everything. It does, indeed. But it doesn't give these men that are so-called incels the right to do what they do. It's too many people out here, too many women. Women outnumber men, 10, 12 to 1? So, I could say get over it, which is what, because I think these awkward socially individuals are taking things to the extreme. And they shouldn't. Now, I'm pretty sure the statistics or the census or whatever you say will show that these are mainly Caucasian men. So, somehow I feel that most likely that their little cornerstone of the world is slowly disappearing. Well, if that's true, you can blame other Caucasian men because they're the one who are making these laws and giving women all these rights. So that is true. That's a fact. But I do believe it is an attack on men. Well, I already know about the masculinity thing. That's not a good thing. So I just want to know why it's the U.S. Secret Service given this daunting task. I was thinking more of the FBI because they're more of an investigative agency. The Secret Service is more of a currency agency, even though most agencies now still deal with currency. But I just find this quite odd. The U.S. Secret Service given this task of watching these individuals who call themselves incels due to their inability to form intimate relationships with women. That's scary. I don't understand. What do you mean? This is nothing new. They've been here. It's just the fact that they're acting out in ways of violence. Where are we going with this? Big Brother now, a part of a branch of Big Brother is saying these so-called men are a threat to women, I would say, and to society. So, anyway, just my 2 cents on that. One of my subscribers sent me this, and that is my 2 cents on this. So, anyway, let me know what you think, good people. Please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below. So, until next time, this is your guy, Mr. Educator, Mr. Communicator, Mr. Free Thinker. Subscribe, share, and like to keep me rocking on the mic. Have a good night.
I'll understand you soon, it won't be long. Keep on, keep running.